Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're gonna be a better person after watching this video. My bro is boss. Finally got permission to tell this. This happened last December and when I joined Reddit I wanted to tell this story. Since it focused on my brother, I wanted his permission to tell it and he finally gave it. Okay, so for context, I need to tell a quick story. My brother showed me a post from somewhere. I forget where, some years ago, about these two men at a store trying to buy something, and watched this kid wreaking havoc at the store. His mother only stepped in when anyone tried to tell the kid to stop. The kid would get a big grin as his mummy yelled at a person for trying to discipline her kid, then the kid would start running around again. At one point, the kid bit one of the guys so hard he drew blood, even had it on his lip. The two men started freaking out and the mother got ready to yell at them. The guy that got bit told her that he had AIDS and that she needs to get her son to a doctor now. They walked away after that and heard the mother start crying. Now, the reason I told that story is because my brother and I forgot about it after a time, until this event happened. My brother was by himself, shopping for his wife for Christmas, and he went to a store that his wife liked. Every damn time they go there, there's this woman who's letting her son tear off the place, not to mention hitting and biting people. She never got banned because her husband was the manager of the place, so he lets it slide. People complained, but it went nowhere. My brother got lucky until December when he was shopping alone. He was looking at something, and then he heard the entitled kid yell, "I'm gonna bite!" My brother turned around in time and had to grab the kid to keep him from biting him. He believed the kid was around 5 or 6 and started screaming, "I'm gonna bite you!" at the top of his lungs. The kid struggled, trying to bite my brother while growling. Entitled mother came marching up to him. "Let my son go right this instant!" "Lady, I'm not gonna let your son bite me. You will let go of my child or I'll have you arrested for trying to kidnap him. Then I'll tell the police how you let your son attack other people." She started to speak, but my brother cut her off. "No, your son has no right to bite people. You never know who might hit him for biting them or who was sick and shouldn't be bitten." At that point, the entitled kid got freed, grabbed my brother's arm and bit down hard. So hard in fact that the kid drew blood and my brother actually needed stitches. The kid let go, blood on his lips and teeth, and was just grinning. At that moment, my brother remembered the story he shared with me, and he got an evil thought. My brother sounding panicked. "Holy crap, kid, spit out that blood, spit it out now!" Entitled kid just grinned and shook his head, and licked up the blood, commenting how tasty it was. Both my brother and I wondered if the kid was a vampire or something. Brother making a convincing look of horror. Your son." The entitled mother was so damn smug my brother no longer felt guilty about doing this. "Lady, I have HIV. Your kid just swallowed my blood. I have HIV. Get him to a doctor now." The entitled mother stared at him in shock, then horror. She gave a loud cry, picked up her son and dashed out of there, crying hard. After she left, my brother looked around and saw the faces of the shocked customers and workers there. "I don't have HIV. I just lied so she could understand that her kid shouldn't bite people." He got a round of applause. He had to go and get stitches, but he hoped it would teach the lady to get her kid to stop biting people. Sure enough, the next time he went, he saw the entitled mother there with entitled kid. She looked at him in anger, and he was prepared. She marched right up to him, her son's hand in her hand. "You are so damn lucky that my son didn't get HIV, you sick freak. If he had..." "I wouldn't be legally responsible for it, since you let your son attack me and made no move to stop him." "Well, my husband should know that there are witnesses who can testify against him, stating that he knew what his own son was doing and was doing nothing about it." Entitled mother was just flabbergasted for a moment, but recovered. "You should be banned. You could make a lot of people sick. And you got lucky your son wasn't sick from biting someone. He might not be so lucky next time, so you should control your kid." After that, she just walked away. A bit later, my brother had learned that she had reined in her kid quite a bit, and her husband won't allow their child to harm anyone at the store again. I asked my brother if he thought about telling her the truth, but he decided not to. Every time she saw him, he wanted her to remember that her son dodged a bullet. Wow, what a mixture of poor parenting, assault, and entitlement. I've never before heard of a child biting and attacking strangers for fun and then lapping up their blood and saying that it tastes good. There's something terribly wrong with that kid. Entitled mother tries to report me as a pedophile for telling my daughter gay couples exist. We were having a day of hiking and picnicking in the park with my young girls, 6 months and 3 years, so bought a bunch of toys. My wife went off to feed her baby and I was playing with my 3-year-old and our dolls and she paired all of them off into couples of men and women. Recently we learned we really dropped the ball teaching her about relationship diversity because she went to visit her uncles, her married uncles, and threw a tantrum when we told her they were married because only boys and girls can get married. We thought she knew they were married because it's certainly no big secret, but definitely have gone out of our way to correct that assumption since. We basically just try to point out the LGBTQ plus people in our life and reinforce, you know these people, you like them, they like you, it's no different than knowing a straight couple. She's been super receptive to it, and I think she just hasn't seen any gay people on TV or in books and was oblivious to the ones she saw in everyday life, so wasn't sure what to think. So I said, let's put these two girls together like your friend Hannah's mummies, and these two boys together like Uncle X and Uncle Y. The rest can stay as they were. This way, more people are included. Isn't that nice? And she said, yeah, and we played and it was fine. Enter entitled Mum, NK, entitled Mum's somewhat normal kid, about 10 years old, and MK, my kid. Excuse me, what are you doing? Playing dollies? Sir, excuse me, hello? I don't appreciate your talking about sex in front of my kids. When was I talking about sex? G word and the L word? I didn't say either of those, and I can talk to my kid about anything I want, so unless there's anything else, I won't have you sharing adults' conversation with a toddler here in public or anywhere. Really? That's too bad, because once we finished talking about inclusion, I was going to crack open a 40-ounce and read some Hustler for story time. Is she even your daughter? Is that even your son? At this point, a woman walks by with a baby, and entitled Mum tries to pull her into the conversation. This man is going up to children at the park and trying to teach them about sex. The woman, who we'll call W for woman, or for wife, because she's my wife, was having none of that. What was he saying? He was telling this toddler about GAYSEX. Thankfully, she knew the woman must be nuts. I thought we said no gay sex until her 4th birthday. She rushed to cover normal kids' ears. This is everything wrong with our kids today. You're forcing them to grow up before their time. You want your daughter to have those images in her head? You're going to traumatize her? My dollies are at the grocery store and they're going to buy popsicles. I had a popsicle today. It was a yellow one. Uh-oh, you think popsicles are a euphemism or something? Entitled Mum takes normal kid and storms off. 15 minutes pass and everyone's getting hungry, so we break out some snacks. I'm helping my kid get the green tops off her strawberries. A park ranger comes over. Excuse me, a woman reported there was some sort of inappropriate sexual activity going on at this site? What, really? Oh no, well, I've got my kids with me. Do you think we should move? The park ranger looks around confused. No, just keep an eye open for anything strange, and if you see something, drop by the ranger station and let us know. About an hour later, just as we're thinking it's time to head home, entitled Mother comes back through. How are you still here? We ignore at this point. You know there are piles of studies on child psychology that say what you're doing is ruining America. I wanted so badly to say something snarky, but kept my mouth shut. But then entitled Mother directed her insanity at my kids, and you better believe that didn't sit well with my wife. Honey, doesn't it make you sad when Daddy tries to tell you things you don't understand? Don't you talk to my kid one more time. Don't look in our direction. Don't breathe on me. Get out of here. Right now. Leave. Of course, my 3-year-old doesn't know why she's upset, so starts crying. This yelling and crying attracted the attention of a different park ranger. Problem, folks? Entitled Mother started screaming almost incoherently while our poor embarrassed kid was like, Mom, let's go. Just, let's go. Come on. I'm so glad you're here. We were just getting ready to leave when this woman who's been harassing us all day came over and started talking to my daughter. The park ranger took her aside and took us aside, and we gave our sides of the story. Entitled Mother was nearly in tears, and we could hear her throwing words out like decency and innocence. When he came to us, we briefly explained that we were already on our way out and didn't want to take this any further. He said we should just go. We packed up and left. Entitled Mother couldn't believe we were let go and was still berating the park ranger with her embarrassed son when we left. Everyone should just mind their own damn business. The end. A bit of an anticlimactic ending. I was hoping the entitled Mother would get some backlash for the way she was acting. I did nearly laugh though when she tried to say that teaching your children about inclusion and diversity was ruining America. Entitled Mother wants me to move away from my mum on a plane so she can have an extra seat. On mobile. The backstory. Was on a plane back from vacation. My mum and I were sat in a row of 3 and had a spare seat. Entitled Mother wanted me to swap with her so she could get 2 seats to herself while I would sit with her husband and kid. The cast. Entitled Mother. Curly hair, fat but not obese. That special type of, I'm on a cheap flight but I'm better than all of you bitchiness. Mum is my mum. Me, I effing cringe so much when people go, ooh, don't know who that is, haha. F off, it's me. FA, the most useless tit I've ever met, flight attendant. So, we were in the air, the seatbelt sign was off and we're free to roam about. The flight had a couple of spare seats from what I could see, including the one next to me. My mum and I had booked the middle and window seat, but I moved to sit in the aisle so we could have more space. The woman sat in front, entitled Mother, continuously whipped her head round to stare at me for a few seconds. I tried to ignore her, but it was weird. After 20 minutes of her turning around to stare at me every few seconds, she eventually tapped me on the head. She tapped me on my head by reaching over the seat. Excuse me? Her tone was very severe. Yes? Hi? I was very tired, but tried to be polite. Swap seats with me. She maintained eye contact the whole time. I took a few minutes to respond because I was just dumbfounded. I'm with my mum, I'd rather not. You've got a spare seat. I want to spread out and relax. Swap with me. No, please leave me alone. That's not how you speak to an adult. She got a little loud, enough to turn heads and disturb my mum, who asked if I was okay. Swap with me. I need to sit there and you can sit next to my child. You can play with him. The child looked around 5. I'm 18. Please leave. Move right now. This turned everyone's head, made me so embarrassed and was loud enough to summon a flight attendant, mid-30s male. Is everything alright here? He spoke directly to entitled mother, completely ignoring me. That boy won't move. He's got 2 seats to himself and he... My mum interjected, loudly at this point. I actually have 2 seats to myself, both of which I paid for. I was sitting in the aisle seat, which we had not booked. The entitled mother didn't respond to my mum. I think she was intimidated. Well, I'll see what I can do. He then turned to me, who had been listening and present the whole time. This woman is asking if you'd be able to swap with her so she could have more space. Would you mind? Would I mind? No, I don't want to swap. Entitled mother erupted. She started yelling at me, calling me a brat, calling me selfish. My mum was yelling back at her, and I honestly was struggling not to laugh at entitled mother because I noticed how her chin shook as she shouted. The flight attendant during this argument shrinked away, just backed off and left. Entitled mother, realizing she was making a fool of herself. Fine, selfish effing brat. She sat back down and swung her seat back as much as she could, which was fine because it was literally a couple of inches and I had plenty of space. My mum asked if I was okay and if I wanted her to make the entitled mother move. I said I was fine. Entitled mother started making huffing noises. I ignored her, put my earphones in, and the rest of the flight was fine. When we landed, entitled mother made sure to get up like a rocket and block the walkway so I couldn't get out of the aisle. I, however, was feeling petty. I stood up, shuffled over and said, "You don't mind, do you?" Then barged into the walkway in a way that looked accidental. She stumbled into someone else who promptly launched her back into her seat. It was hilarious, like watching a ping pong ball. She didn't move after that, and we got off the plane and never saw her again. Imagine meeting an entitled woman on a plane and there's literally no escape. Ugh. I also feel like the flight attendant should have had more of a presence in diffusing that situation instead of leaving the passengers to fight amongst themselves. But that's just my opinion. It might not be their place to do that at all. Okay, so that's all for r/EntitledParents. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!